Murmur on the wall, who is the greatest fighter of them all? Why, you, Carol Pelletier, not any man over 6 foot tall. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. It's new best friends. Woo! Carol is reined in, the undefeated, the undisputed, the box office heavyweight champion of the world, feared across the seven kingdoms, the dishwasher, the cookie maker, the boring bastard, the 60-year-old on the verge of getting our pension. You know the score.
The king of the kitchen.
That's very much it. That's Carol.
And you know what? I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but let's get it over and done with now, because pretty much the longer this show goes on, the more I just bash the gender roles and how they portray women as these great fighters that are more competent than men. I mean, you look at that. This is not me clutching here. It's legit truth. You look at this show; they portray men as bitches, right? Other than the top couple of men, right? The Darrows and the Ricks, right? Other than that, all the other men are made to be really weak. They're made to basically be pussies. In this episode, we see Aaron take like a little scratch, and then Tara claims that he's injured and they can't go on.
He's out of action.
And he's like telling them not to fight with the junkyard folk. Yet you see Tara and Rosita getting fisticuffs with him. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? But what is the pandering to Carol? They're making out like Darrow lies to Carol, right? Not to protect her feelings, not so that she doesn't get hurt or upset. Darrow does not tell her the truth about Glenn and Abraham being dead because they're trying to push us to believe that if Carol knew, she would single-handedly take down the Saviors. And it's like, fuck off. This woman is approaching 60, is not a fighter, looks frail, looks fragile, spent most of her life getting beat up by her husband, couldn't protect her own daughter for her husband, couldn't even leave a fucking caravan to go and look for her daughter when she went missing. And now we're supposed to believe that she's going to go into the outpost or the Saviour's compound and wipe them all out. We're supposed to believe she's going to, wrestle Lucille away from Negan and shove up his ass. Is that what we're really supposed to believe here?
Yo,
see in the real world, see if this woman rocked up to the outpost and wanted to fight, Negan would look at the window, laugh his ass off and go to bed. No, but seeing The Walking Dead, Negan would probably look at the window and go, fuck this Carol.
Holy shit.
Oh, we pissed off the wrong woman tonight. But no, like, this it is woke, right? It's incredibly fucking woke.
Shite. That's the answer. I mean, it's like numerous times through the episode, you get Morgan and Darrow hyping her up. You've got Richard saying, she's got more balls than me and you combined, buddy. And then, yeah, you're right. But no, I don't get... Why is Rick, right, going to the junkyard, trying to make a deal? Why are they going to the kingdom trying to make a deal?
Just find Carol.
Just go to...
She'll single-handedly take down the Saviors.
See that wee cottage outside the kingdom? It's fucking... It's ridiculous.
It's pathetic.
And but you know what?
Wokeness has killed this show.
This is the exact problem that No Sanctuary has caused this show. See her killing Karen and David. I can accept that. You know what I mean? She killed two people that were sick.
Yeah, she got the jump on them as well. She did it in her sleep, so it's like...
But see No Sanctuary, where she took down, like, 50 people with a makeshift rocket launcher and a couple of plates and ferry up liquid. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? Seriously.
Yeah, I think Carol should have fucking died or at least sacrificed herself.
Anyway, let's talk about Ezekiel. He's got his knights. They meet with the Saviors. Gavin's like, hey, a little bit of light, King. I think if you look, we are not light. The King doesn't come light. Gavin looks at it from a slightly closer angle and somehow comes to the conclusion that, here, I was wrong, you were right.
But here's the deal, right? We've got King Ezekiel and we've got, some bum that happens to be the leader, the lead commander in this little group of Saviors. And this Gavin guy has got Ezekiel on ropes, right? He's got him on strings. It's like, how can Ezekiel be a king and he's getting spoken down to by, like, a guy that is maybe like fucking 8th in command of the Saviors?
Ever.
It's not like this is Negan or Simon speaking down to King Ezekiel.
Yeah.
It's fucking Gavin.
Gavin. G to the A to the F to the I.
By the way, I wonder if we'll actually get a decent member of the Saviors actually interact with Ezekiel.
Yo, it's like Jared walks in front of Richard. They pull both their guns out. Then Richard gives the gun back after Ezekiel just fucking cars like the little bitch that he is. Morgan then whips his wee stick out. Whoa, slashes Jared. Can we put the sticks down, please? And then Benjamin whips his stick out. Morgan gets skimmed in his ear. He starts bleeding. And then after this, you've got Gavin. Next time, Ezekiel.
He's on the chopping block. So basically, if this happens again, Gavin basically tells Ezekiel that he's going to kill Richard, and Ezekiel just accepts it. Despite Gerard being the asshole that started it, the king just accepts it. Like, I mean, I just couldn't imagine where someone threatens to kill a member of a king or a member of the king's guard or something like that, and the king just, no worries.
But this just makes no sense because they're threatening to kill a guy in Ezekiel's group. They've been bullying them this entire time, but yet they don't want nothing to do with the kingdom. They don't want to take over, and they don't want their tiger and their fucking other gear. It's a load of fucking shite, man. Honestly.
Imagine Negan wanted half the tiger.
See,
they take the bottom half or the top half.
I don't know what it'd take, but I'll tell you what. See, looking at The Walking Dead at this point of the show compared to the early days, it's a fucking comic book sack of shite, is what it is.
It's woke garbage.
It is.
Dialogues become meaningless.
See this Gavin guy.
There's no
he acts like the guy that's working the 9 to 5. He looks depressed at his tits.
Nah, he's just trying to get by.
Ezekiel, this ain't gonna fly. Next time, Richard, he's on the chopping block. Enough, Jared. Fuck, enough of you, Gavin, mate. Fucking Gaviscon. Honestly, man, fucking brutal.
Gavin gone?
Yeah, right. Back at the kingdom, Ezekiel's like, Benjamin, you were good with this stick.
You're getting better with that stick, Benjamin.
Then he's like, Richard, I'll speak to you later.
I tell you what,
Richard should have fucking pimp slapped.
I've heard that Aaron and Eric are pretty good with sticks as well. They can make them disappear.
They are. Absolutely. Well, whereabouts though? I don't want to talk about it. Right, Daryl and Morgan, they talk about Carol.
King stick.
He's like, oh, Carol would want to kill all the Savers if she knew about Glenn and Abrahams. Morgan's like, yeah, that's why she left. And then Daryl's like, Morgan, you're a shite bag. You were out there giving them stuff. Hold on, Daryl, mate. You were crying like a little bitch, and Rick's literally gave everything at Alexander.
I hated this scene, right? Daryl is basically like, oh, how could you be out there with him, Morgan? How can you still be, agreeing to the trade and all that stuff?
You'll say you want. Morgan actually fucking defended Richard. He whipped his stick out and cracked Jared in the coot.
That's more than fucking Rick done when he was crying and blowing snot bubbles.
Exactly. So,
but, it's like...
Look when Aaron was getting pumped. I mean, fuck, what was Rick then?
And you know what? Morgan hasn't really seen what the Saviors are capable of.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick and Daryl have witnessed it firsthand, and what did they fucking do? So
Nada.
How's Daryl...
NADA.
What gives Daryl the audacity here to have a go at Morgan? Oh, you're still trading? Here, see the first half of this season? Rick's been running around like an absolute shite bag, desperately trying to claw together whatever items he can for Negan in collection day. Daryl was sitting in a cell eating shite sandwiches. Yeah. Literal shite sandwiches. And he wants to have a go at fucking Negan.
Morgan?
Alright, it might not have been shite, but it was like dog food or something, you know what I mean? Like, fuck me. It's Daryl acting like his shit doesn't stink, acting like he's a tough man, and more here. I can't stand Morgan, and I don't want to defend him, but I feel like I have to here.
Right, up next we have got
don't defend him.
No, I know, but it's fucking ridiculous, right? Up next we've got Richard and Daryl, and this might be the worst scene of the fucking lot. So essentially what you've got is Richard's like, right, we're going to kill some saviors. Daryl's like, alright, I'm in. But then he's like, right, we're going to kill them. Then the real saviors are going to follow us back to this woman's cottage. She'll die, and then that'll spark a war. But then Daryl's like, what's her name? And Richard never gives a name.
Yeah, but you know what?
She's got more balls than me and you combined.
See, at the beginning, he said woman, and Daryl seemed to take offence to that.
Yeah, there's no way he clocked it was Carol straight away.
Yeah, because let's be honest, you look around at all these groups, there's just as much women as there is men.
If not more.
Yeah, apart from the saviors, right? So it's not like it's, for example, something that we're not living in a world that is predominantly made up of men, or it's not like we're talking about, let's say a sports, let's say like American football, where like a large percentage of the audience might be male, right? Well, we're talking about survivors left in a zombie apocalypse. You tend to find that women make up at least half, if not more, right? But Daryl seemed to take offense that Richard was planning on, leading them to this person in the cabin, and Daryl was like reluctant when he found out it was a woman. Now, I believe it's not because he automatically assumed it was Carol. That was after like Richard was like, "Oh, she's got more balls than me and you and all this shit," right? But it was almost like Daryl didn't agree with the fact that they could be putting a woman in danger, and that's fine if that's the route they want to go down. But I don't see how you can have Daryl with that sort of thought process, but like in the exact same seasons, in the exact same episodes, and in the fucking exact same scenes at times, then portray women as these like warriors that are actually better fighters and braver than the men.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute you've got Daryl, oh no, we can't put a female in danger. But in the very next scene, Daryl's like, aye, Daryl's the best fighter out of us all. How does that work? On what planet does that work? See if it's back in season 2, when the female is in the kitchen and cleaning the dishes, then you can see where Daryl's coming from, or, he can't put her in danger. But how can you still have this, like, double standard? It's like, do you see the double standard here, though?
It's almost like they want both sides of it. You can't have both sides of it. You can't. If they're an equal threat in the battlefield, then Daryl should be willing to give up some random woman for the sake of the cause. But he can't, because he's referring to them as they are, early.
Like a damsel in distress or something?
And it's basically have a scuffle. This plan doesn't go through. Richard's like, I'd give my life for the kingdom. Daryl says, why don't you? Right, junkyard. Oh my god. Speak about fucking jobbers. They line up in a wee O or something. This is Morse code or something, or some weird CRM shit, who knows. Jadison appears. Which one of you is the leader? Or are you a collective? Rick's then like brought forward. Just a load
but
of
even
shite.
even the way they formed, Dale, they were walking around in circles for like 5 minutes in order to get into formation.
A group filled with just weirdos, right? See the men? They were like lanky Slenderman nonsense.
It did give me like the Hills Have Eyes kind of vibes. It did, like.
Yeah, and just a lot of retarded looking women, man. It is what it is.
Or something like Lord of the Rings, where they're kind of like hobbits or something and not like normal functioning humans.
Yeah, Rick asks
like half-breeds or something.
Rick asks for help against the Saviours. He wants proof that Gabriel's alive. Gabriel then grabs some woman by the throat with a knife. Can't recall her fucking name. Tamel.
Like we're basically into a scuffle. Aaron gets like punched or cut or something like that. He goes down hurt. He's like, guys, don't fight. And then we see Rosita and Tara start to attack and Michonne. So we see all the women fighting against the junkyard. But Aaron, the guy that's there, he gets one wee scratch and he's down.
And it's got nothing to do with him being gay.
No. So he's down, and then like Rick's like, right, enough, right, come on, and then Jada takes him up to the top of the pile and then throws him down, and he gets into like a duel, like a gladiator duel with one of these like walkers that is like got an armored plate and spikes hanging out of it. Rick tries to defend himself, ends up getting stabbed, impaled, all this shit.
Did he not? I mean, honestly, I get what he was doing here, trying to get a bit of leverage on it. Stabbing yourself in the process was fucking idiotic. Then, Rick can't figure it for himself. Michonne has to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
Besides, drag the garbage down. It'll help you. Wait, Rick, we're supposed to believe that Rick is the god, the goat of, surviving in the zombie apocalypse. Look at the amount of situations he survived. Why the fuck does he need Michonne to spoon feed him?
I think it would have maybe been borderline worth, impaling your hand through that little spike if you had something in your free hand to kill this thing with.
Yep.
But he didn't have nothing.
You got nothing.
So then he just gets tossed around and stuff, and Michonne's like, use the wall. So then he starts pulling on the you know, all the garbage, and garbage begins to fall on top of this walker, and in the end it crushes them. And then Rick picks up like a blade or whatever and manages to stab it in the neck and kill it. Then he's like, oh, look, Jadis, we can fight. We can get you what you need. So then she throws down a rope. Rick climbs up, and, you know, he was able to just like nudge the wall and pull all this debris down on the walker. But then he climbs the wall and literally everything stays in place. Again,
as bad as the CGI.
Yeah, it didn't really make a lot of sense. Then they get into an argument, or they try and create a deal. Jadis like, right, you know what, give us guns, we'll help you in your fight against the Saviors. Rick's like agreeing to the guns. Then they want like half of everything. Rick's like, a third. She's like, half, a third. And then they agree to like a third, and everything that they've stolen already for Rick's group they get to keep. Then Rick thanks Gabriel for bringing these groups together, even though Gabriel didn't know fuck all. That wasn't his plan.
No, he literally knew fucking hee-haw, and then the Kingdom rock up at Carol's door, and she basically just tells him to fuck off. And it's like, listen here, you disrespectful little fucking bitch. This is Ezekiel's cottage, and you're just telling him and his people to leave? I can't stand her. And you know what? It actually fucking genuinely pisses me off that her, Eugene, and the rest of the fucking job squad are actually still alive in this show.
All the losers.
All the absolute...
all the people that should have died in the first couple of weeks.
All the outcasts. The Mongos. Oh, pisses me off upon belief. What else happens at the end of this episode? Is that pretty much it?
Daryl then goes to the cabin, knocks on the door. Carol thinks, for God's sake, it's one of the... what do you call them? Sequels people.
The Kingdomers.
It's one of them, she thinks, but it turns out it's Daryl. Daryl comes in. She then starts crying. What happened with the Saviors? And did anybody get hurt? Is everybody okay? Daryl makes up a lie. He says that the Saviors did come to Alexandria, but they made a deal and everyone's fine. And she believes that. She's like, oh, thank God. Like, right, first of all, the reason why he's lying is because we're led to believe if Carol finds out Glenn and Abraham are dead, she's going to go on like a one-woman mission, a Terminator-style mission, and just take down the Saviors, which is fucking bullshit and never happening. But second of all, right, is Carol really that dumb, right? Does she think that they could go to an outpost, even if it was just one of many outposts, and kill 50 Saviors? Does she really think... See if the Saviors have the numbers, and if the Saviors have the power in order to go to Alexandria and force Rick into some sort of deal, he has to give them shit. See if they have that power and that leverage. Does she really think they ain't going to get any revenge and they ain't going to, you know, kill anybody to make up for the deaths that their group suffered? How dumb can... I mean, come on. Fucking bullshit.
But
so what? So she thinks that the Saviors are strong enough and powerful enough, though, to force Rick into a deal where he has to give them half their fucking shit? And they just left and left everybody unharmed? Come on.
No, it's retarded. And like the dialogue in this show is just done at this point. It's like doesn't he question it?
What would happen if the Saviors rocked up at Alexandria and killed about 50 people?
Well, they have no one left.
No, but would Rick's group just go to the outpost and go, here, we want to make a deal?
That'd be funny.
No, we're led to believe that if Carol finds out Glenn and Abraham are dead, she's going to go on a one-woman mission and wipe out the Saviors. But the Saviors lost about 50 fucking members at the outpost, and they just rocked up to Alexandria,
no, but why
shaked hands and made a deal.
Why isn't Daryl telling Carol?
Well, we know the reason,
because she's the best fighter and she'd go on a rampage.
Aye.
But don't you want that? Don't you need bodies? As fucking shit as it is, and we hate it, why wouldn't you want the best fighter? Why is Daryl turning that down? And but if you say, in case she dies, but they could all die, people are going to die in a war. That's a reality.
Either he thinks it's too dangerous for her because she'll do it alone, or maybe he thinks that she'll ruin the long-term plan of Rick. Because she won't be willing to sit back and see out a plan. She'll just want to go ramble.
I think the latter might be the... You know what? Daryl and Morgan talk beside the tiger. Daryl then leaves, and Richard and Morgan watch him leave. The fucking end. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ, I don't even know what to say.
Bad episode.
Very bad episode. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I think
No, I just can't believe, right? We are seeing a show with a character that literally went from. I mean, people will spin it and say, "Oh, but that's great writing, that's great storytelling." She goes for the bottom of the barrel to top of the food chain. Some people just can't do that. You know what I mean? No, some people can't. So some people don't do it, and some people can't do it, and she's both. It is so unrealistic.
so forced.
Yeah.
It's so fucking forced.
It is absolutely.
I mean, Michonne came in as like a fighter, so you can almost accept. See, I wouldn't have any issue. See if it was like a few, I wouldn't mind. But in The Walking Dead, it's literally every female has to be a great fighter.
Yeah.
There's barely any weak females, but there's a shitload of weak, cowardly men.
Yes. All right, guys. I'm giving it a 2. What are you giving it?
I mean, even that, who's that fat fuck that got the arrow through the eye, like,
Denise?
season 6?
Denise.
Aye, like, even her, you know, it's like, oh no, I want to be...
for it.
You got, I mean, try to do a Shane. It's like, nah, you ain't no Shane.
Pain. I'm giving it a 2. What are you giving it?
It was garbage, wasn't it? I'm trying to think of a reason to get a 3 and I can't.
So it's a 2 then.
Nah, 2 out of 10.
Number 2. Shite.